to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Mindset channel where we talk about anything pertaining to music. You know what I mean? Dig into some of the stories that you thought you knew about what happened in the music scene. And every once in a while do a little reaction video and stuff like that. Tonight we're going to get into something special. We're going to talk about Milli Vanilli, that time that they got kind of outed out on the stage. You know what I mean? You heard about the story. We're going to get a little bit more into that. Before we get into that, I just want to let you know I appreciate you guys. My subscriber count seems to be going up because good viewers like you are tuning in, and you must be liking something. And I definitely appreciate you guys for that. So keep up the good work, keep supporting the channel, and I'll keep doing my best to bring you some type of material that you want to see, some content that you can enjoy and stuff like that. Definitely appreciate you guys. Just want to give a little shout out to the trolls. How y'all doing? All right. So we're gonna jump right out into this Milli Vanilli thing, guys. Now it's the late 1980s. Big hair, neon lights, and pop stars in matching outfits. Everything about that millennial pop dream is real. And then there's Milli Vanilli, the perfect duo. Their looks, their style, their moves, everything about them screamed pop royalty. The tracks, they sounded great, but one thing was missing, their voices. And on July 21st, 1989, the world was about to find out. Go grab a Snickers bar while I set the scene for you. Now, the venue we're talking about here is Lake Compounce in Connecticut. It is the oldest continuously operated amusement park in the United States, dating back to 1846. It originally started as a public electricity experiment. The park quickly became a beloved hotspot. By the time Milli Vanilli arrived in 1989, the park had undergone some serious changes though, including a new 20,000-seat amphitheater for concerts. And it had just been renamed Lake Compounce Festival Park. The summer concert series was in full swing.
Town. Club MTV Live, the tour, hitting the road with Paula Abdul, Stone Loke, Information Society, Was Not Was, Lisa and Coke Jam, and Milli Vanilli.
Man, the excitement was palpable as Rob and Fab took the stage, ready to perform their hit song, Girl You Know It's True. The crowd at Lake Compounce, thousands strong, was hyped and ready for the show. But what they didn't know was that the night would become infamous for a reason no one could ever have predicted. Let's look deeper into the scene. It's 9:15 and everything seems perfect. Rob, Pilatus, and Morvan are on stage, pop-locking and dancing in sync, mouths moving in time with the hit song. The crowd is singing along out loud, and the colorful lights are flashing, and the track is thumping and booming. But the illusion they've been working so hard to maintain is about to collapse and crumble in just a few minutes. And then it happened.
Girl, you know, it's 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 girl, you know.
Got him! Got him!
And then this happened. Suddenly, in the middle of the performance, something went terribly wrong. The track had started skipping over and over again like a scratch record. Now, the crowd was still in the dark at first, thinking it was some sort of a technical glitch. But my man Rob froze on stage, unable to cover the mistake. Old Fab, still trying to keep the show going, continued to dance. But the confusion was obvious. Fans started whispering and the tension in the air was palpable.
Couldn't repeat it 15 times, so I stopped, I panicked, I ran off stage. 80,000 people waiting. I said, I have enough, I quit.
What those people hadn't realized until then was that the vocals weren't theirs. Man, the tension on the stage was ridiculous. But the fans, or the fanatics, were still cheering. But it was only a few moments before things started to hit home for everybody involved. The fallout didn't happen immediately, but once the media started asking questions, the truth came out.
Hi, we are Milli Vanilli. Join us on Club MTV The Tour.
Milli Vanilli didn't just get caught in a technical glitch. They were exposed as being incredible lip syncers. Man, the fans were furious. In November 1990, Frank Farian, the producer behind the scenes, finally admitted that Rob and Fab never sang a single note. This press conference sent shockwaves through the music industry. And Milli Vanilli's Grammy Award for the Best New Artist was revoked. But let's rewind a bit. This just didn't happen overnight. Farian, the mastermind behind the duo, had carefully crafted Milli Vanilli as a perfect package for pop culture. Rob and Fab were great looking, marketable, and had just enough stage presence to pull off the act. But here's the thing, they couldn't really sing.
And Frank gets out of the room, and then he looks at me and tells me, look, he wants us to like lip sync. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, we signed a contract. And I'm like, I don't get it. And I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. So we get out of the room, it's like, man, we ain't doing that, And we're like, so what do we do, This stuff is crazy. We're told that it's okay if you don't want to do it, but you need to pay us back. So it's like, oh, okay, but we ain't got no money.
Farian had session singers record the vocals, and Rob and Fab just danced and lip synced. No one was supposed to know until that night. But another thing we need to think about, Charles Shaw, who came forward, he was the actual singer on those tracks. But why did he wait so long to come forward? He had been silent for months and finally started to speak up. He says he was kind of conflicted. He had been paid for his vocals, but he wasn't getting the fame, and the royalties were kind of coming up then. But once the scandal broke, and with pressure mounting, Shaw finally confessed this. Man, them fans demanded refunds, and Arista Records erased Milli Vanilli's entire catalog. Man, that was some crazy times. Sad thing is, after all that, Rob Pilatus never recovered from the scandal. He spiraled into drug abuse, depression, and even crime. Unfortunately, he died tragically in 1998 at the age of 32. All this was linked and attributed to an overdose. This was a sad and devastating end to a man who had been on top of the world only to see everything come crashing down. Now, Fab Morvan, on the other hand, found a way to rebuild. After years of struggling to regain credibility, he dove into EDM and found a new path for himself in music. His resilience paid off. Fab even appeared in a 2022 film promo showing that he could rise above the chaos and continue his career on his own terms. The sad thing about it all is to find out that Fab could actually sing a little bit, or at least as good as the other pop artists that were out there at the time. Y'all, Milli Vanilli's legacy will forever be marked by the moment when everything came crashing down at a push of a button. It wasn't just about lip syncing, it was about the pressure of fame, really, the exploitation of talent, and what happens when the industry gets too big for the truth. I personally went through this type of thing with a record I did back in the day. The person I was singing with was so bad in the studio that the executive producer replaced his voice with somebody else. So my partner had to play the lip sync game in the public. Oops, yeah, too much information. Well, anyway, Rob and Fab were caught in a system that valued the image more than the reality. And when the truth came out, the consequences were devastating. Yeah, Milli Vanilli, man, I tell you what, that was a crazy moment for them, you know what I mean? At that point, I was probably somewhere in the 20s or early 30s or what, something like that. And I just knew that group was so hot, man. We were hanging out at the parties and the clubs and stuff back in those days. And we hear one of those songs come on, it's about to be a party and stuff like that. But the real guys who sung that song, these guys right here, Shaw and this guy John, these guys were the real guys who actually sung the songs that Milli Vanilli were kind of purporting to sing, but they had nothing to do with them, But them boys knew what they were doing. Milli Vanilli, they ain't stupid. They were about that money, and they was trying to get it any kind of way that they could. They had the opportunity to bail out. They didn't. They didn't want to have to pay these people back the money that they had fronted them. So I feel sorry for them for getting caught, but at the same time, they knew exactly what was going on in that situation. What do y'all think? Should they have taken their Grammy away? Well, I think probably yes. I mean, if you didn't sing on a song, I get it. You perform, you dance, and you lip sync and stuff like that, and that's what people really were buying into. But if you would have got out there and the song wasn't that great, you wouldn't have got that far. So, I don't think they should keep a Grammy for some work that they didn't do. You know what I mean? If you want to be a model and you want to base that off your image, go ahead and do that. But when it comes down to singing, if you ain't singing a record, you shouldn't be getting a Grammy for it. You know what I mean? All right, guys, I hope you appreciate this type of stuff. We're going to try to keep things going with some good stuff in the future. So check out the next video, and I'll see you in the next one that you watch on the Music Mindset channel. Thanks a lot, guys.